Consultation calls have been my number one way of booking weddings as a wedding photographer, selling my artwork, and I like to make a lot of videos about that on this channel. So if you're a wedding photographer too, make sure to leave a comment, let me know where you're watching in from, and subscribe, and then let's get into the do's and don'ts. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Samia, I'm a wedding photographer, and I thought today would be a really fun video about do's and don'ts for consultation calls, some little fun things that I found over the years. Okay, number one do is do respond right away. So I talk about this a lot on this channel, the speed and the importance of speed and making clients feel like they are your number one priority. So I've talked about this importance of speed here on this channel a lot, and I feel like a lot of wedding photography business owners are actually a little bit afraid of speed. I think there's a hesitancy there to make your business appear desperate, or if you are in a luxury client or in the world of luxury clients, there's kind of this about making your business seem hard to touch or exclusive. And because of that kind of feeling you're trying to create, that your business is so in demand that you only take on a certain number of weddings, or whatever that is, and that might be true, that kind of branding makes you shy away from speed. And my opinion, as this channel is my opinion, I think speed is important no matter what tier of wedding in clients or industry or volume of weddings that you're going to do, because at the end of the day, it's the number one thing that drives your first impression with people on the internet. So even if you are kind of trying to brand yourself as a luxury vendor, or somebody that is only shooting destination weddings or something like that, or only taking on 5 weddings a year, still treating your clients with responding really fast when they inquire is going to be a huge differentiating factor. I don't think it makes your business look desperate. I don't think it makes you look hungry for business or anything like that. So I'm a big fan of speed. I have booked many weddings with this speed, and the number one response I get from clients is, "Oh my God, I love that you called me right away." And it's just great to treat clients the right way and be excited about their wedding. I don't think that's a feeling we should shy away from in fear that it comes off as desperate. Okay, number 2 is so on your consultation call, not on the phone call, but on your actual Zoom call, allowing 10 to 15 minutes just for connection, to the point that you let the client bring up the wedding. So I think a lot of times on consultation calls, the wedding comes up right away, and it's kind of like going on a date and marriage comes up right away. Even though that's kind of like the point, some would say, of the call, the more that you can spend connecting with your client or potential client on the actual consultation call, the better the part of sales is going to go. So what I like to do is I take a very relaxed approach to consultation calls. I let the conversation flow. I try not to talk about the wedding for at least 10 minutes. I try to talk about college or where you grew up or anything we could possibly connect on, so that we can establish a connection. Because as soon as you start talking about the wedding, colors, logistics, a lot of that is actually getting into, it's very hard to connect because we're talking about this event in the future. We're not actually talking about much that I can relate to or you can relate to. I mean, we can relate to things about the wedding, but we're not relating as people as much as we've pigeonholed ourselves into just talking about the wedding right now. So, and then you don't want to, once you start talking about the wedding, you don't want to start talking about something else that's random. So spending those 15 minutes in the beginning of the call is really going to help that connection piece and driving sales when you do get into those more specific logistical questions. Okay, the next thing is painting a visual picture of yourself at their wedding. So if you have photographed a wedding at the venue before, or you've at least seen pictures online, there are small things that you can do and say that really help them visually see you at their wedding. Like, I know this sounds so silly, but when you talk about, oh yeah, we usually use this storage closet or this or we usually go over here for photos, or I would love to use these steps for photos. So showing them, talking about yourself in those moments on their wedding day and helping them picture you there is something that will really help drive the call. So those small sentences where you're creating a vision in their minds of you doing whatever you're doing at their wedding will help them see you at their wedding, want you at their wedding, and make sure that they can actually envision working together. Don't talk too much about yourself or past weddings. So with a successful consultation call, you want to be talking about 30% of the time, and the client is talking about 70% of the time. And in that 30% that you're talking, you're mainly just repeating back what they're saying or active listening. So you want to give them the floor to ask questions, to share about themselves, and you can still be leading the call even though you're only talking 30% of the time. So it's a good balance, so make sure that the client is talking a lot more than you are. The next don't, I think, is something that all of us wedding photographers get kind of curious about because we're just in such a competitive space. So the don't is don't ask which other photographers they're talking to or how many calls they've had, or kind of fishing for market research on a potential client call. The more you do that, the more it kind of eats away at the vision of this was only supposed to be us doing this wedding together. And it kind of just, it just is not a good feeling on a consultation call. So whatever you do, just don't ask about other vendors, other people, all of that, because it takes away from the opportunity to connect you and your client, for you and your client to connect. Don't ever push a decision on the spot. So consultation calls is really an introduction, and at the end the goal is to ask them if they want to receive a proposal. It's not, do you guys want to book? It's not like, oh, there's a discount if you book today. I don't think pushing hard sales is really the way to go in the wedding space, because it's such a fragile, cautious thing that people don't deal with every day. So they need to wrap their head around trusting you, and that when you push sales really hard, you lose that trust piece. So I usually just ask at the end of the call, would you like to receive a proposal? And if they say yes, I do a courtesy hold and 3 days where I'm holding their date while they look at things. But I don't want to push anything on the spot. And I also don't send a proposal to them unless they say, yes, we would like to receive a proposal, because that is also indirectly pushing a proposal. So I say, hey, this was great. Would you like to receive a proposal? Or are you guys going to be looking in a different direction? Or is it, what's going on? And being really transparent during those conversations is really helpful too at the end of the call. I have tons and tons of other videos on here about consultation calls. If you're a wedding photographer, make sure to subscribe. I hope you guys liked this video, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next week here on YouTube.